What's going on, Sky Squad? We are back in the building. Happy Friday to y'all. We got a couple of stories that I have been meaning to talk about, but I have not had a chance because it's been a crazy week filled with drama, okay? So we can't really be mad about that, but we're going to still talk about these stories nonetheless because I just got a couple of things to say about them, okay? And I got some questions to ask you. We're talking about Draya returning to reality TV. We got Mama D is back on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and she is spilling some tea to Yandy that Mandisi's mama done spilt, exposing your girl Yandy. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And then we got to talk about the chaos that's going on behind the scenes at Real Housewives of New York. Now, before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, join this texting community, hit that notification bell button down below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this thing, this jamboree. Okay, first things first. Listen, I know y'all ain't been watching Real Housewives of New York. How do I know? Because the ratings reflect that y'all are not watching. Okay, the ratings are the lowest it has ever been for this show. Po things. I would tell you, the episodes are really difficult to watch. They're difficult to watch, so much so that it is believed that the network cut out about 3 episodes to cut down the season, to cut down on the chaos, okay? Now, we know that things have been cut out of the show because things that were shown in the mid-season trailer and in the original trailer have not been seen, and this coming week is the season finale. So there was some ice skating stuff. There was a group boxing event that hasn't been shown. So we know that the season has been cut down due to the controversial nature of the show. Okay, that's basically what it is. So now what they are saying, and there's been all sorts of rumors about Real Housewives of New York, whether the reunion is going to be filmed, and, you know, they're trying to bring back Bethany and Tinsley. Then the network said they're not trying to bring them back. Bethany doing some talking in the news, talking about she ain't coming back. Listen, it's a mess over there down to the Real Housewives of New York City. So if you're watching, I just want you to know it's a mess going on. And right now, Radar Online is reporting that your girls, Sonia, Ramona, and Luann are slated to be demoted to friends for next season. Now, these are the mainstays of the show. So you're going to demote all of them? Okay. Now, Radar Online is suggesting that, and I'll put the link in the description down below so you can read it. Radar Online is suggesting that they believe that Sonia might actually take the deal, but, you know, Luann and Ramona probably won't. And the reason for them, according to the article, being let go is because they're too expensive. Now, they've been on the show the longest, okay? So they are the OGs. So, yeah, they might come with a pretty penny. And the belief was that the network was trying to skew younger. Now, let me hop back on the screen and say this. Younger don't always work for these housewife shows. You know what I'm saying? Now, the template for this show, whether people want to admit it or not, and this is what I think, is Desperate Housewives. Now, when you look back at Desperate Housewives, it might have been one, younger character, i.e. the Eva Longoria character. But for the most part, by and large, they seem to be in the middle age range. And I think that's what works best for housewives. Ladies who are in that middle age range with maybe 1 or 2 little youngins sprinkled in betwixt those ladies to see how they react. You know what I'm saying? This is, I don't know what they're going to do to fix this. I don't even know whether or not, to believe this article. But what I do know is that they need to take a little time off with Real Housewives of New York, similar to what they did with Atlanta. Okay. Take some time off, regroup. Okay. Figure out the best ideal cast moving forward. Get yourself, as Andy stated, that they need some more women on the show. Get yourself 8 housewives. Oh, yes, I said 8. 8. They've done it before on this show. Yes, they have. Season, I believe it was 7. Okay. Whenever Bethany first came back, it was like 8 housewives. Get yourself 8 and then narrow it on down to 7 for the season following that. Okay. Because somebody not going to make it. Somebody not going to make it. Get yourself 8 housewives, call it a day. And that way you can really pick and choose betwixt which ones you feel like is really going to bring it. Also, make next season a shorter season. Go ahead and make it 13 episodes. Don't be afraid to cut down on the season to really bring it, bring down that cost. And then I would rather you give us a shorter season that was much more impactful and that speeds along at a faster pace than to try to drag out 21, 22 episodes of fluff, okay? We don't need it. We don't want it. Give us a shorter season, more housewives, pick 8. That way you can whittle it on down to 7 or 6. I say 7 is the ideal number, but go ahead and do that, and then call it a day. Then I feel like you'll be back on the right track. Listen, they filmed during a pandemic. I think that they tried to do something different by really tackling some subjects that they hadn't tackled before. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. At the end of the day, this is a show that I feel like a lot of people still believe in. And I think that they just need to add a couple more women to get it right. That's it. Boom. Now, let's move on into, I want to talk about your girl. Draya is back on reality TV, y'all. Now, I don't know if you've been missing Draya or not from Basketball Wives. I sure have. It would have been nice to have Draya back on the show because, Draya brought so much energy. She was young. She was fun. She had comedy. She was good when she was on the Basketball Wives. But, as of late, the Draya has been doing the acting thing. And, I think she's never going to come back to Basketball Wives because I think she had just gotten to the point where she was just beyond it. Okay. And so for me, I get it. She want to go on and she want to do other things and you want to grow and you want to, you don't want to be fighting with people all the time. So now we have Draya doing her own reality TV show called Doses of Draya on the Zeus Network. Now let's give you a taste of what they say it is. Now, again, this news had already come out, but we ain't talked about it here. So we're going to talk about it today. Okay. Anyway, so what they say in the description, they say entertainment personality and influencer Draya Michelle is more than a pretty face. As a force on social media and budding mogul, Draya is making success look good. Doses of Draya will follow Draya as she continues to navigate life in public view, evolve as a brand and business owner, get wild with her girls, and live her best life. Okay, so we're going to have Draya doing all of those things. If you head on over to Variety, you will see that this is slated to be a 10-episode series that apparently was supposed to premiere last year, but I guess got pushed back due to the pandemic. So we're going to see all that she has to offer and bring in this new 10-part series coming to Zeus in September. Now, you guys know September is just days away. So we don't really have a date for it yet, at least from what I could try to find. But what I want to know in the comment section down below, will you be watching Doses of Draya? Now, let me say this. I do not have the Zeus Network, and I am going to subscribe. Let me tell you why I'm going to subscribe, because it is, run. Listen, I got to support our people. Bottom line, I'm going to support our people. I want to do that because I want to support, and I want to also see what the shows are given. And I always talk about ownership. And from what I've learned about Zeus and how they provide for their creators and stuff like that, I just feel like it is the new wave for talent of color to take a stake in ownership of the content that they create, in partnership and in tandem with a network that is supporting them and that believes in the talent and is drawing in an audience. So for me, I want to support it and I want to watch the show, but will you guys be watching it? That's what I want to know. And are you really interested in seeing Draya outside of Basketball Wives? That's kind of what I'm watching for. I'm gonna be watching to see how entertaining she is outside of it, because she was very entertaining on the show. So I'm excited to see what she brings over here. Okay. Now let's dive on into Yandy. Okay. Yandy with that candy. Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening. Let's set the scene for you guys. Now, we didn't really do a review of Loving Hip Hop Atlanta this week because honestly, I felt like not a lot really happened. And I'm tired of doing reviews and being frustrated because the show not giving what it's supposed to give. Yeah, I said it. I had to say it. It needed to be said, okay? As much as I want to support the show, I just don't feel like it's been as entertaining this season, okay? But it looked like things might be heating up right now because Mama D back on the scene. Finally, we get some good old OGs on here that bring some drama and some entertainment, okay? So let's talk about what's going on in the scene. Now, if you watch the preview for this coming week, you will see that Mama D has a conversation with Judy, who is Mandisi's mother. Now, Mandisi's mama don't like Yandy at all, okay? And she also blames Yandy for the strained relationship that she has with Mandisi's, because a lot of what he said some things on Family Reunion that apparently made things a lot worse, because he talked about, his mom not really being that much around when he was, a youngster, which led him to getting into trouble. So, Judy, the mama, feel like Yandy didn't put him up to making these types of statements. She's also saying, she's making some other accusations, and let me tell you what she says. She says, with Yandy and the way she make things look real, her marriage to Mandisi's, they were never married in the first place. And so Mama D, because she's on the phone FaceTiming with Mama D, as you guys can see from the little thing right here. She says, Mama D says, well, I was there in New York. You mean to tell me it was a fake? No, Mama D, first of all, let me hop back on the screen. We didn't talk about this wedding on the show before. We didn't talk about this wedding right here on this show before. And I believe I had heard, or maybe it was the story at the time, or maybe I'm making it up, I don't know. But I felt like she had said something to the fact that, or people had alluded to the fact that maybe she had not really gotten married, because, she didn't want the funds, her funds, to be commingled with his funds, and he was about to be sent away, and then she could become liable for things that he needed to pay for, or what have you. So in that regard, we had said, I thought at the time, okay, because my memory, at the time, she was like, we had kind of thought, well, maybe that's a smart play. But at the end of the day, still, why get married on the national TV if you ain't really going to be married? Why have a ceremony in name only? Anyway, let's get back to the scene. So Mama D is like shook. So, of course, when Mama D gets to the Dubai, because that's where they have it, the new ceremony, okay? Because as Yandy in the preview, as you guys will see when you review it, Yandy's talking about how they never celebrate their anniversary or whatever. So she calling it their anniversary, but at the end of the day, was it really a marriage? That's the question. Okay, so then Mama D comes to Yandy, and when she see her, she says this, I was invited to your first wedding. Your mother-in-law said it was fake. So Yandy's like, that what was fake? Now, girl, come on. You know what she's talking about. Anyway, Mama D says the first wedding was fake, and Mama D ain't finna lie. So then, Yandy calls Mandisi's over, to bring him into the conversation, because in my mind, I'm like, you could have just answered that question yourself and said, listen, this is what the deal was. And I hope she does answer it like that. Like, listen, this is what we had to do. And we was trying to make some extra coin before he had to go get sent away. And I wanted to make sure that we was good. So this spinoff special was what we did. Okay. That's my theory. And that's what I hope she ends up saying. Just keep it all the way real. I feel like the people would appreciate it. But if she tried to spin it and make it seem like that wasn't the case, now I'm gonna have some questions. Because, the people say it won't real. And this ain't the first time somebody done said it. But it is the first time that I feel like it's being addressed in this way on the show. Unless I done missed it, which y'all will correct me if I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I never thought that they was going to make this into a storyline. But Miss Judy was like, let me tell you what's really going on back behind the scenes and see who pulling the strings. I want to know what you think. Are you team Judy on this one? Or are you team Yandy on this one? What do you guys think? I think it must be probably painful to really have a relationship and to be married to somebody and then their mama don't like you. That probably has got to be very, very, very difficult. So I don't envy her in this situation at all. So it would be nice to see them at some point repair it, because honestly, your marriage, I feel like, will work a lot better if the mama-in-law like you. That's, quiet as it's kept, but I know a lot of people that don't have good relationships with the in-laws. So they find a way to make it work. But I just think it might be a little easier, if your mama like who you marry, or allegedly marry, or common law marry, or get together with, procreate with, lay down in the bed with. go to dinner with, whatever. Anyway, that's the news for today. Listen, we're gonna be watching Loving Hip Hop Atlanta this coming Monday to see exactly how things go down. I can't wait. I am committed to subscribing to Zeus, even though I feel like I am subscribed to literally every single streaming network out there right now. And it is very annoying to add another one to my list, but I'm going to do it. And we're going to see exactly what really happens and what really goes down with the Real Housewives of New York. Because usually these things aren't really announced until it's time for casting to really pop up. And that ain't usually until after the reunion been filmed. And right now, we don't even know that they have a date for the reunion. So with that being said, that's the news for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and join the texting community. And I will catch you in the next video.